All right, and then one more product in my portfolio from 2010, and probably the only point in the presentation I'll talk about it today, is the Lotus Protector family. So 2 products in this family. Lotus Protector for Mail Security is a anti-spam and antivirus engine architected to sit as a boundary appliance or virtual appliance. In this space, very mature product, very mature technology, IBM acquired several years ago. We are competing with a lot of other players. It is a commodity service. We think we're very aggressively priced. There is Notes integration in Lotus Protector for Mail Security, so the end user can do blacklist and whitelist functionality directly within the Notes client interface. That product had a 2.5.1 release in December, and we are working now on I think we're going to call it 2.8. This slide says 2.5.2, but a incremental release in June, which we just actually approved last night. And then Protector for Mail Encryption is a new product we introduced in 2010. Protector for Mail Encryption is an ability to send individually encrypted email outside your organization. So the same encryption that has been available in Lotus Notes now can reach to your customers and your partners and your suppliers. It has 3 different ways of delivering that mail, including SMIME, satellite payload, and delivery through HTTPS encrypted sessions. And so that's a very successful product in its first 6 months in market as well. Again, designed to run as an appliance or virtual appliance kind of model. And we will be updating Protector for Mail Encryption in the second half of this year. So other plans that we have for 2011. Very busy start to this year, and many things going on. This presentation, of course, was originally built for Lotusphere in Orlando, which took place 6 weeks ago. And we've already done some of the things that we talked about then as future plans. I have not taken the time yet to rewrite the presentation to move those things kind of into the present, so we'll talk about them mostly as plans. So during 2011, we plan an 8.5.3 release of Notes in Domino, which will probably come in the third quarter of the year. Primarily a quality and consumability release. There's not a lot of feature work that will be in that release, but there is some for application developers around X pages. We'll continue to do fixed packs as well. From a sales and marketing perspective, the message that you'll hear from my team and I most during this year is around the application development story in Notes in Domino. I think X Pages was mentioned during the opening introduction. We introduced X Pages as a development model in Domino 8.5, and we've gotten a lot of awareness of X Pages, but not quite yet mainstream adoption of building applications on X Pages. So my goal for this year is to make X Pages very successful in the market. One of my goals within that is to open up a market for X Pages applications outside of traditional IBM Lotus customers, and to reach into companies that don't care what the messaging engine is and just want really great collaborative and social applications built on proven IBM technology. I think to do that, we'll probably have to come up with different sort of packaging and go to market, and so that's one of the projects we're working on right now. One of our partners in that is a business partner called Group Business Solutions, who have developed a transformation engine that will take older Notes in Domino applications and modernize them through X Pages. So if you have an application that was built 10 or 15 years ago and it needs a more modern look and feel and capabilities, and you want to use web and mobile delivery, the Evolution Transformer will take that old application and almost 100% automatically turn it into a modern X Pages application. So it's very exciting technology and something worth checking out. Sorry, and then I suppose this could be anywhere in the presentation, but one other point is that version 7 of Notes in Domino we will stop supporting in about 5 weeks. So a lot of companies are using that as the reason to go upgrade from version 7 to the current versions. All right, In Lotus Live Notes, I mentioned briefly earlier that we had done a third release of Lotus Live Notes on the 22nd of February. About everything in the left-hand column was accomplished in that, and then, oops, sorry, lost my slide. Everything on the left-hand column was pretty much accomplished in that release. Our first support for BlackBerry and Android in the cloud, some mail management improvements. And then we're also working now on 2 more releases of Lotus Live Notes during calendar 2011. So within the product's first, let's say, first year in market, maybe first 13 months, we'll have done 5 releases of Lotus Live Notes. In the cloud, this is typical to add new features frequently, but in our software product, it has not been so typical to go that aggressively into market. So the cloud really introduces some new opportunities to iterate very, very quickly and deliver on some tremendous capabilities. So keep an eye on that. Another aspect of the cloud that seems to be getting a lot of interest is an announcement that we made at Lotusphere around Domino applications in the cloud. Customers have been saying, if I move my mail to the cloud, I'd like to also have an opportunity to move my applications to the cloud. So we announced this at Lotusphere. There's really 2 parts to the announcement. One is a new licensing model. We have a Domino licensing model called Utility Server, which allows you to just pay per server for Domino applications and not have to buy client access licenses. We've extended the Domino Utility Server with a new model called Domino Utility Server for Lotus Live, that if you're using Lotus Live Notes for mail, you can use the Notes client in Lotus Live Notes for the application part of Domino. So complete solution where you're just paying subscriptions for users in Lotus Live and paying for servers for applications. Very simplified licensing approach, almost the easiest one we've ever come up with around Notes and Domino. The second part of the announcement was that IBM GTS now offers the ability to host Domino applications on cloud images at a fixed price in data centers located in the US, Canada, and in Germany thus far, and they'll continue to expand. So the fixed price aspect of that is probably what's most interesting, because most companies don't really know how to put a cost on or a value on what they're using in the Domino application space. So GTS is a great option to host your Domino applications in our service centers as opposed to having to allocate it in yours. So there's been a lot of interest in that. We also have today on the IBM cloud as well as on the Amazon cloud infrastructure images of Domino that you can use for development and test purposes, and you just pay usage charges. You don't pay me a license for those at all. So free Domino on inexpensive cloud services with free Domino Designer is a very attractive model for getting started in Domino application development. All right, another announcement that we made at Lotusphere this year was in the Symphony space. We announced that we would build a web-based version of Symphony called Lotus Live Symphony. Now, this is not just about taking a word processor and a spreadsheet and a presentation tool and making them available in a browser. There's 2 unique aspects to it. One is that we've designed it for the cloud first, although we'll do an on-premises version later. And then 2, really, we're looking at doing more than editing. What you see here is a list of capabilities that we think are unique in the Notes Domino space: co-editing, live sectioning, contextual commenting, and assignments. So these are things that are not typical in an individual use of a word processor or a spreadsheet, but they're typical business process. I'm going to show you a live example of this. So we think that we're really falling into this mindset of how you can become a social business when we provide editors that do more than just have an individual create a document and check it into a document management system. So live demo of beta software from a network halfway around the world is not always the best approach, but I've decided to try it. I probably will have to log in here again. We'll see. Actually, no, it's kept me in. Good. All right, so I'm going to show you the rest of Lotus Live in a minute, but this is Lotus Live Files. And Lotus Live Files is a great way to share files outside your organization. You don't have to worry about sending them around as email attachments. You just put them up in Lotus Live and you can share them out with anyone. We use this internally as well. It's actually one of the contributors to why my email volume has gone down substantially, is that in Lotus Connections files, I post presentations that I do, and people can find them without having to come ask me. What we have here is a document in Lotus Live files that's been shared with me. This is a real live document. This is not a demonstration document. It was sent to us by an analyst company called Forrester Research, asking us questions about Lotus Live Symphony. So we said, well, if we're going to go and work on a document about Lotus Live Symphony, we had better use it in Lotus Live Symphony. So we set that up. So you see I have a number of different options here that I can do with this document, including view and edit, which I'm going to do in a second, update the version, share it with other people, put it in a folder, etc. And that we have only one version of the document right now, but that if I go ahead and edit it, it'll launch Lotus Live Symphony. And this will take just a second. Actually, literally just a second. That was very good. So here we have this document, and it was, a Word document before, and this vendor Forrester is asking us a number of questions around what Lotus Live Symphony does. So we might want to have a group edit this document. Now, I'm just here me, so it's hard for me to show you the group editing capability. But maybe I want somebody to work on just that first section of the document. So I'll go ahead and highlight it. Actually, that's for me. And let me go ahead and I've lost my button. Assign a section, that's what I want. Okay, all right. It didn't give me the option of who to assign it to, sorry. So this is the only problem with doing live demos. Let's try this again. Tools, task, assign a section. Okay, I guess I'm not going to show you that capability. This was the risk of showing a live demo. Let me show a different section of the capabilities here. We'll just go ahead and create an inline comment. That's a good example here. So this section needs to be addressed quickly by Eric. Okay. So we'll go ahead and add that. You see that it put the sticky in there. So now, real time, anybody who's in this document with me in the Lotus Live environment is seeing my comments immediately. I don't have to save, I don't have to check it into a new version. This is all happening in terms of real-time editing. And if there were other people in the document, what you would see down here is icons, avatars to represent those other people in the document. So all of the capabilities that you expect to have in terms of editing are here, but then there are also capabilities around comments, around assignments. Let's see if that works. No, still not working. Co-editing indicators, so again, the things that would appear here, etc. And then when I'm done, I can just go ahead and close the document. It's already been saved, so I don't have to worry about that part. And anybody who's working with me in the Lotus Live environment is now able to see that set of capabilities. I'll give you a very quick tour of some of the other capabilities in Lotus Live Notes. Now, I'm not in a production account right at the moment, so we'll see very limited capabilities. But profiles and activities and communities are all here, and you'll see I have a fairly extensive network of people who are connected with me in the Lotus Live environment. Contact information for me is here, and I can, of course, share and update that. I can search on these profiles. I can go ahead and access blogs or communities or other components within the Lotus Live environment. So all of the capabilities are integrated in what we like to describe as a dashboard configuration, where I can very easily, in no more than 1 or 2 clicks, move from point A to point B within my social environment. So very, very integrated experience, and one that we find users naturally adopt to within the Lotus